Hey guys, welcome. Thank you all so much for joining. My name is Carrie, and then this is Edvin.
Hey everybody, Smart Pet Edvin here.
Yeah, so my husband and I are the creators of the Seed to Spoon app. So I'm sure you've seen my face before. If you haven't joined us before for one of these workshops, welcome. We always have a lot of fun. We kind of just sit here and hang out for an hour or so and talk gardening. So it's always super fun. And I'm excited to be joined here with Edvin again.
Yep. So excited to be here, everybody.
Yeah.
Yep. We were going to be outside, but it rained last night a lot.
Yeah.
And it's super, super humid. So on my way here, I was crossing my fingers that Carrie had the same idea.
Yeah.
And we're inside, so we did.
But we have it inside with us. Like we have a bunch of plants, and I have some cut flowers still.
Actually, you were just telling me that these are the same exact cut flowers from last week. Mm-hmm. And I mean, these still look, like you can go buy them in the store like today.
Well, thank you.
What's your trick?
Well, so I actually just did a reel about this over the weekend. I posted it up, but the big thing is taking care of the plants themselves and like the water, like change out the water, making sure that's always filled because it always tends to evaporate and the plants are always drinking it too. But I do that. And then I always put in like just a little bit of sugar and sometimes hydrogen peroxide, especially if I'm dealing with fungus gnats. I do a little bit of that too.
Nice. Pretty cool. I don't know. I thought it was cool, so I just wanted her to make sure that she gave you all the trick on that.
Yeah, especially, for those zinnias, it's one of my favorite flowers out there, seriously. And we have so many going right now that have just taken over, and it's amazing. But you all can still be planting those too. Spoiler alert, we are going to talk a little bit about zinnias today. Of course, like every week, I think I always have to bring it up, so...
Yeah, if you don't have flowers or any pollinator attracting plants in your garden, definitely try it. If not, this fall, maybe next spring, it definitely, you'll see an increase in your yields. The pollinators, they're the ones that are going to be, moving with your male, female plants and, getting those fruit forming. So definitely add some, flowers or, pretty things to your garden.
You know what? So I was actually out there and it was the other night. And I was so excited. I told Dale, I was like, oh my gosh, there's a hummingbird. There was a hummingbird in like my little zinnia patch. I was like, oh! I was watching it like go from like flower to flower. I was like, oh my gosh, it's so exciting. I love it. But anyway, and yeah, lots and lots of butterflies and bees and yeah, so many things. But yeah.
I see somebody mentioned from Choctaw and it's raining. Yeah.
Keep
that away
from Chakota.
Us. Oh, Chakota.
Yep.
Okay, sorry.
I was gonna say if it's Choctaw, it's gonna be here soon if it's not already. Let's see. Well, hello everybody. I see everybody. Everybody has a lot of very similar weather. It appears like there's just the weather has been just
crazy.
Yeah. But it is. Although we got a lot of rain last night, we are good right now. It is sunny out there. And very hot and humid. So
yeah, I saw a post this morning from an Oklahoma meteorologist, and it was, I think it was like 4 or 5 days. The next 4 or 5 days forecast, there is no 100-degree forecast in the weather. And I was like, okay, we're celebrating that, but 98 degrees is still not much better than 100 degrees. And then you add the heat index, and then you're like at 115. So
I did see. So I opened up the Seed to Spoon app today, and I did see that it said predicting a heat wave coming up, and I was like, no, we've been so good at like not having that yet.
Yeah, so far, I know but I think it was last year. Was it like July or August where it was a week of like straight 100s and like everything was done.
But we can talk a little bit today about how to help with that too.
Yeah,
so
yes, we can.
Let's do it. Yeah, it looks like some people aren't getting rain. I'm sorry. Sorry, Karma. And sorry, Harry Warp.
Yeah, the South is definitely taking all of the rain.
And Paige. Yep.
They said no rain for you.
Oh, that's funny. So Jessica says she got a seed catalog. Oh, there's Oklahoma zinnias. I need to check that out. Probably. Yeah. See what I did. I did it. I'm sure.
Encouraging the zinnia addiction.
Oh man. So I saw somebody said a hummingbird had babies and
Oh wow.
their lemon tree outside. That is so amazing. Oh my gosh, I would be looking at nothing else but that if I lived where you are. That is exciting. Oh, I love it.
I know. I was just about to say I have never seen a hummingbird nest. I mean, I've
I
been sure they're like
know.
can
I
barely
know.
even
I can
see
only
them.
imagine, but like I feel like it's pretty rare if I actually do see a hummingbird, but
Yeah.
that's why I was just so excited the other day when I saw that. So, yeah. Hi, Sue. Yeah, I definitely feel you there too. I have barely had to water out there, which is amazing.
Yeah.
And Edvin even worked so hard getting a water irrigation system set up for us here.
Yeah.
And
Now we're kind of waiting for like a dry spell, but
I'm sure,
I know.
knock
We'll
on
knock
wood,
on. Let me go ahead and
it's
knock on wood.
gonna.
Yeah, let me go ahead and knock on wood because
Okay. Well, welcome everybody. Oh, and sorry, I hit the table. Here, let me get to our giveaway because we do have an exciting giveaway again today for a lucky winner here that is joining us live. You guys are going to be getting the winner is going to be getting a free 1-year premium Seed to Spoon app subscription along with SmartPot.
brought something special for you guys. Actually, going to give you guys a 6-foot raised bed planter. So this is a complete raised bed planter. If you guys are familiar, like with like the round metal ones, these are just like that. Except these, you need no tools. It literally folds right up. Reason why we're giving this to you guys today is Dale and Carrie. Actually, this is what some of the first smart pots that they started with. They've had them for just about almost 10 years now.
A very long time.
Yeah,
yes.
A very long time. And they do some hardcore gardening. So Smart Pot, we're going to hook them up and we're going to be switching out some of their older ones. So we thought, hey, why not go ahead and give one of you, lucky one, a chance at one of these as well. So
it's exciting.
These are raised beds. You fill them up. They're easy to fold up as well. But yeah, they last easy 10 years, indoor, outdoors. These are great for growing a complete garden in them. So
I was trying to find a good picture, but here's one. I use these all the time up against my cattle panel arch trellises, and because they are the perfect size for that, and that's how I really like to use them. But they're perfect for like up against fences and I mean everything.
This is our 6 foot, so anybody who's got a small space, or even if somebody wins it who's not a gardener, looking to start, fill this up, and you, like I said, you have your whole garden. In one bed. So yeah, good luck. Make sure you're commenting and asking us questions because the more you enter, the more chances you get to win.
Okay. I know. I'm excited for the giveaway too. It's going to be a great one. Oh yeah, you see, he's already got one.
Nice, Harry.
He's
got Harry, number 1 out there. Yeah.
Okay, here I have a question real quick from Jacqueline Whitmore. She says, will the app have seed starting reminders like for spring seed starting, like the way it says start seeds indoors now, plant outside doors now? Yes. So here, before we get started, let me show you real quick. So every Sunday, it does send out a notification for things that you can start now in either indoors or anything like that. But anytime you are also just in here, you can see plant now or plant soon also. And another place I do like to look that I want to show you is under growing guides. There's these filters. So you can say, there's a plant now. I thought there was an inside only, but over here, like it'll say, you see where it says plant outside now, there'll be like a plant inside now, plant outside now, things like that. It's super helpful, but there's a lot of different ways that you can go about finding like what you should be starting right now, as well as that Sunday notification that goes out every week too.
I mean, if you even want to make it a little bit easier, you can just ask Growbot directly and,
Yeah,
sure
very true. Yes, I always am going through. And also, speaking of too, if somebody has a premium app subscription, or if you win it today, you can be sending pictures to Growbot as well, which is my favorite thing to do. So I posted on social yesterday, but I actually found a snake in my smart pot yesterday, and I was like, "Ooh, I will Yes, I'm not gonna lie, I did scream, but I let it be. I was like, I had to like take a couple deep breaths. I was like, okay, this is a good snake, but I did snap a picture and I sent it up to Growbot just to make sure, just because I'm not like,
I wouldn't have had that time. I would have been
yeah.
inside. I mean, locked
I
indoors
let it
before.
go, and my son was all, he was like, "Oh, snake!" But yeah, we let it go, and it's busy working happily in my garden. So.
Perfect. So I know not to go in the garden anymore.
Okay, let's see. Oh, thank you. I always forget to mention this too. Yes. So the whenever I show the app too, I'm just pulling up the web app. So thank you so much for reminding me to share that link too. Everybody can go in and use the web app for the Seed to Spoon. Um, just on our website, or because if you just go to seedtospoon.net, you can tap use web app, or you can just go directly to app.seedtospoon.net. And if you log into your account, like all of your gardens will be there. And also, if you're a premium subscriber, you'll get all of your premium features online too. So, okay. Sorry, I'm giggling at these time to move.
Yeah, honestly, I don't do snakes at all.
Yeah. Hey, from where I come from, like I used to be terrified of spiders and snakes and wasps and everything. And gardening has given me an appreciation of this. And I'm like, okay, there is a reason for everything. But I still have to like remind myself sometimes. But
No, I grew up in the city of Chicago, and if somebody found a snake, they would put that on the news. I mean, it was a big deal.
That's
And
funny.
it could be any type of garden snake. So we definitely don't do snakes or spiders. Nope.
Yes, yes. Okay. Anyways. um okay, so let's jump in and talk about July because there's so much that we can be doing this July. Um and I mean, hopefully we have time to put it all out there. And if you guys have any questions, please pop them in the chat and we'll pop them up as we're talking too. But I did want to touch on things that you can still be planting right now. I mean, pretty much in most zones. I will say generally zones like 5 to 6 onward, like you should still have time for all of these. Now below that, you'll definitely need to check the app and check your dates. But most all of these should still be able to go through and plant, which is exciting.
Nice.
So, um, but I myself am still growing and still planting and still transplanting. I think I do it like every day. I'm out there doing something.
Yeah,
So.
and I mean, I see okra on this list, and I mean, I know okra from me, even my personal experience. I mean, you can be out there and there be nothing, and you come out the next day, and it could be full with okra that already,
Yes,
far gone,
huge.
way past their
Yeah.
time. So, if you're
Grows
a
pretty
beginner
fast.
gardener, you're looking for something that's very quick, that you almost mindless gardening. I would definitely try the okra. It grows like a Jack and the Beanstalk type of thing. Mine went like 7 feet.
I know.
So
it's amazing, isn't
Yes,
it?
and the flowers are really beautiful. Honestly, like it almost makes you like not want it to go into a fruit. Like I'm like, you can stay, but no, the tree will ripen and everything. But okra, yeah, it's a great one. If you've never tried it, it's amazing. So
Now that is going to be more for like the upper zones. But we are both in zone 7,
Yeah.
and it grows amazing here. But I
guess right now
in
in the super heat, I know it tends to kind of struggle, but
it does terrific for me. But yeah, that's why I was like, yes, okra.
Yeah.
But yeah, so okra. Another one that's really good for whenever it's like really hot is going to be the black-eyed peas or southern peas, which it's like a great name for it because it's for the southern area. But whenever my beans tend to struggle because like I feel like pole beans and bush beans are terrific for whenever it's warm, but not like super hot. You know what I mean? They tend to struggle a little bit whenever it gets too hot. But black eyed peas, I feel like will take all of the heat that you will give it. So that's something that I always want to throw out as an option for people too, especially down in the South that are maybe struggling growing beans. Definitely give those a try too. And you can still plant them now, which is great.
Yeah, I wish you had your picture of your yard long beans.
Oh my gosh.
When I first saw those beans like in the garden, I was like, "What in the world is that?" I mean, it looked like something out of this world. I mean, they're like literally like a yard long beans.
They are, yeah, I know. It's amazing. Yeah, they're definitely, I can get like, so for one, it's, I mean, I kid you not, it's like this big, but I can cut it like several times and it's like one meal right there and one for one person. I'm like, there you go.
That's funny. Somebody asked, "What does okra taste like?" And I honestly, I had never even heard of the word okra until I moved to the South, came to Oklahoma.
That's same as me. Yeah,
and
same
I was
as
like,
me. That's
"What is
funny.
this?" And I don't know how to explain it. I would explain it like I don't know. It's almost like a pickle,
Oops.
but it's almost like a cucumber mixed. But
Sorry,
not.
I accidentally pressed that. I was putting it for next.
Yeah, I don't know. That's how I would explain it, like a pickled cucumber, but not really.
Yeah, it doesn't have that strong of a pickle flavor though.
Like, not a strong flavor. It's like almost bland.
Yeah.
But we always eat it with ranch and fried, so you're really just tasting the ranch and, you know.
Yeah, but it's funny that you say that. Like, I think it is a thing for the South because, like, I grew up in like California and Arizona, and then when I moved out to Oklahoma, like everybody on the side put fried okra, and I was like, fried okra, what is this?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, I was like fries as my side, but it's like, no, you go to places where it's like okra is your side.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay.
That's kind of funny. But yeah, they are very good. Very good. And one thing too, my husband loves to just eat them like right off the plant. Like he will just like pull them up and just start munching on them because they taste really good too.
And sometimes you have to, because if you let okra get, I mean, once you see the okra pod, you pretty much got to pick it because it's going to be overripe by the afternoon probably.
Yeah, you definitely want to keep them smaller because they'll be much more tender. Once they get larger, they get tough and fibrous and not as good. Okay, I saw this question real quick. So how to protect tomatoes from birds. So I covered with screen, but then bees couldn't pollinate. So that's a really great, I mean, that is a dilemma for sure.
If you have a huge problem, I mean, what you could do is try to self-pollinate your tomatoes. And I mean, generally, like even with cucumbers and everything. So what I actually do, like in the greenhouse, since, you know, I know there's not any type of bugs that are really going around and pollinating, is I get a Q-tip and I try to use the same Q-tip every routine because it just keeps that same pollen, and I just store it somewhere. So you just go around and kind of just shake around all the plants and then just all the flowers. And then once you do that, then you can go in and then cover it with that screen. You know, some people use like those like bags, like screen bags. After you know you've pollinated it, and then that could help. I mean, that would be my recommendation.
Yeah, I have also heard things like, I mean, hanging old CDs around is supposed to scare birds, and I mean a few random little things too. I mean, like one of those owls, those stationary owls, putting them around there. Motion activated sprinklers are really fun and work really well for things like that.
They even get me.
They do, yes. I actually got him because we have one in the front yard protecting our front garden, and then one out here in our garden. I got him last week because he walked past and he was like, ah.
Yep. So they definitely do work.
Yes, they do.
Wondering.
Yes, even against people. But yes, motion activated sprinklers are really good too. For me, I have a lot of bird feeders around my property too, and outside of the garden, and I have like little random ones that I put up on the window too, so I get to watch the birds too. But I feel like I feed them enough, so I never really have an issue with birds in the garden. So maybe try and feed them something else, like have an offering. Okay, I saw a great question too. So, because sweet potatoes are definitely something I still need to get out there and plant my sweet potatoes. I have sweet potato slips that I need to go out there and plant. Still, I feel like I'm getting on the late side now, but you know what?
You know, this weather has been just so weird. Like it's. I mean, right when the season started, it's like, no, it didn't start because it kept freezing. And then it's like, I mean, we've just been so weird this season. It's just been, I don't know.
Yeah. So, I mean, Rhonda, like I plant sweet potato slips like very similar to anything else. I mean, I just kind of put them in the soil, right? I mean, that's essentially how I go about doing it. It's very similar to potatoes too. And I try to give them a lot of space in like my smart pots. And so that way, like harvesting them is a lot easier. I can just go through, and you guys should totally see. I posted that video not too long ago. It was like a week or two ago though now. But we had a monster sweet potato that was like almost 7 pounds.
Yeah, I mean, it looked like a baby.
Yes, and it was grown. And actually, it was grown in one of those. Exactly one of those. It was in yes, it was in one of these that I had my sweet potatoes growing in. So maybe you guys could do it too, and it worked amazing. It was so great.
Yeah, if you do the right, the right soil mix, nice, not too heavy. I mean, you're able to grow a really nice potato. And like Carrie said, you just got to empty it out and roll it over, and super fun to harvest.
Yeah. Okay. There we go. Okay, so I touched on, let's see, beans. So we can still be doing cucumber, zucchini, all of those things. Like I am actually, so I'm trying a new thing too with my cucumber. I'm trying growing some in a hanging pot. So I actually just planted that out too by seed, but you can still be planting like new rounds of these things. Like I'm always doing like succession planting of a lot of those things too. So I want them at different stages, so just in case like they get attacked by pests or anything like that. I always want them on different stages. So and then also like New Zealand spinach or Malabar spinach. Still be doing some of that. I actually started some of that by seed that's sprouting now.
Really?
I'm really excited. Yeah, I just planted some this last week.
I think spinach is my favorite green.
Yes.
My favorite leafy green.
And in the summer, I get so sad when I don't have spinach. So I'm like, okay, I need to do this. So I was like, especially missing spinach one day. I was like, right after lunch, I was like, I miss spinach. So I went out there and I planted so much of the Malabar spinach. I was like, here we go. Here, everywhere I could. And yeah, I have quite a few popping up now. So I'm excited about that.
Nice.
Let's see. And then basil. I have basil on here too, because basil is definitely something, it grows really fast from seed. And it's one of the easiest herbs to grow and will do good for pretty much anywhere, anyone. Let's see. So speaking of potatoes, so yes, you are asking the right person. I have grown purple sweet potatoes and purple potatoes. I love all of them. They are absolutely incredible. So ask any questions that you want. I mean, I grow them exactly like I grow any other potato, sweet potato or potato.
You have some very nice pictures of like dishes you made, no? With
I
the purple
do.
stuff.
Yeah. I've made like purple mashed potatoes before. The kids love that. I made this like purple mashed potato. They're like, ooh. I mean, it's just so fun and so unique. I'm always for adding any color that I can to anything. So I'm always all over anything that I can get that's a unique color like that. Let's see. Okay. And then, of course, we have to cover a couple flowers
Yes.
too. And
I mean, I love growing sunflower. I mean, there's not a lot of flowers that I've grown. Obviously you have marigolds. I grow marigolds for the companion planting aspect of it. So I try to put it in every corner of my garden. But sunflowers, I mean, I think that they're just like the best. Like even like, I mean, here in Oklahoma, they grow like wild. You'll find some.
yes.
I don't know, just like driving by a sunflower growing at like the side of the road is just like, I don't know, it's just like a happy thing to see.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the easier ones too. I mean, all of these are easy. I always include the easy flowers because I don't know. That's just how I am. I like growing the simple things, but I like encouraging you all to do things that I know will be successful or hopefully will be successful for you.
Yeah. And from you, I learned that there are flowers that are easy because I mean, I don't know, something about just like looking at a flower. Normally, I mean, when I was starting out, you just go to a garden center and that's whatever they have, that's what you're going to grow.
Yes.
For the most part, you always see that they have flower starts. So my assumption was, well, they probably have starts because they're probably hard to start, but No, there's actually some flowers that are fun
Well,
and easy.
yeah, and that's how I always was too in the beginning. Like I always got transplants of flowers because I never, I don't know why I didn't think to
Yeah.
start them by
Yeah.
seed, but I was like, these are so simple, and it saves you so much money too to
Oh
start things by
gosh, yeah.
seed as instead of buying transplants. I can't stress that enough.
I remember when my dad and my mom used to go and like get the little like the petunias, just for to add in the front yard. It used to be like 50 cents, and maybe like four for $1. But now they're like two something, $3-4
Per
a flower.
one
Yeah,
single
for
flower.
one.
I saw that this year. I was like, oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
that's insane. When you can get a pack of 50, 100 from Park, and
Yeah.
you're good for a century probably.
Yeah. Yeah.
Really. Unless you're Dale, and then you go outside and you just sprinkle like a million of them.
Yes.
And then you got a jungle.
Yeah, that's what we always do with our zinnias, especially. Like we go out there and just toss zinnia seeds because they really are that easy. Because I go out and toss them and barely even do anything to them. Just keep them watered and
then you say they'll come back every year.
Yes.
That's amazing.
Well, not the same plants.
Yeah.
So yeah, but they like reseed themselves. Yeah. So at the end of the season, I let them go to seed too. And then they drop their seeds and then they come right back next year.
Happy patch.
Yeah, but that works for I don't know if that works for nasturtium. I haven't had that much experience with nasturtium. I haven't grown that much that I know that though.
And I was just about to ask you because I haven't grown nasturtium. I ran into another gardener here in Oklahoma that actually had a huge nasturtium, and I was like, wow, I probably need to look into growing it. And
I love them. I've grown them a lot, but I say a lot. I've grown several of them over. Last year was my first year growing them, and then this year I'm growing some in hanging baskets, so that was exciting. But I'm not sure if they will come back. Maybe somebody out there knows if nasturtium will come back. Well, not come back, but reseed themselves. Yeah. But definitely marigolds will. I found so many volunteer marigolds this year. It was crazy. Wow. I was going through and weeding out the garden, and I was just finding marigold after marigold after marigold and a bunch of cosmos. It was amazing. I loved it.
Nice.
And sunflowers too. I mean,
that's
our sunflowers are everywhere. I haven't planted sunflowers in years, and yeah, completely.
Yeah, I mean, you go outside and there's just butterflies, bees. I mean, it's in
so much life.
Yep.
So if you guys don't have flowers out there, it's not too late. You can do it. Let's see.
And just quick tip, if there's people who don't like starting seeds, I mean, go to your garden centers, and since a lot of people aren't thinking about gardening right now, you might find some good deals. You might find some plants that actually need some help, and that pop them in your garden and give them a new life.
Okay, let's see. Oh, bummer. So Wendy said, yeah, her nasturtiums did not come back, but yeah, but I have had really good luck. They grow pretty great for me. So, by seed, and I just start them indoors in the spring and then bring them out. Yeah, I'm not sure. I saw this, Carol, I saw you post to this. So low production. I'm not sure. So let us know what plants in particular you're struggling with, and maybe we can.
I mean, I know they've had
help out.
Crazy weather like us.
Yes.
I mean, I know. So
yeah. Okay. So wanted to touch on some pests too that you may be seeing. Yes, unfortunately, they are there.
And like with the heat and the water, I mean, it only just multiplies them, honestly.
Yeah. So in this top left corner is a picture of squash vine borer. And that's something that you need to be on the lookout for with your squash plants. And this is a picture of ours, unfortunately, from...
somebody said that they saw one, but they had said when they see, like, they know that if you see one, there's more than one.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. But yeah, so squash bugs and squash vine borers are definitely the difficult parts of growing squash, but growing squash is so rewarding. It is so amazing. Like last night, my entire dinner with the kids was just zucchini things that we made. We had a lot of fun. I kid you not. Like, we had so much fun making all of these like zucchini pizza bites and zucchini fries and zucchini this and that and all that. Yes, it's so much fun. So it is rewarding, but you will deal with pests. So, um, the squash vine borers, like there's different things that you can do. I'm not going to get into all of the things that you can do. And here, let me show you really quick too, because you can go in here to critters in the Seed to Spoon app, and you can come down here to there's squash bugs, and here's a squash vine borer. So it'll give you tips as well too for how to try to help. But long story short, different things that you can do for like the squash vine borer is going to be prevention, really, companion planting, as well as sometimes just wrapping the base of that plant in aluminum foil. Yep, I just saw this pop up, with some aluminum foil. Yes, it'll help to prevent the squash vine borers from boring into that bottom of the stem, because that's where they typically like to go. So that's definitely something that you can do to help prevent that. And then with these squash bugs over here, really it's just monitoring them and keeping an eye on your plants. I mean, I feel like we always talk about how important it is to go out into your garden and just do a walk around and make sure everything's doing okay and no pests. And well, of course, there's going to be pests, but you know what I mean. But squash bugs are one of the most important things that you can be looking out for, which I have a picture right there of little like collection of squash bug eggs, and just catching them at that stage is going to be your best bet. So yeah, just try your best. If you see those, I actually, this time of year, I pretty much always keep outside, or I keep a lint brush roller with me pretty much at all times. I'll stick it in my back pocket, walk out there, and then I'm just out there getting them all up. And so the squash bug eggs, I even use it for like the little nymphs, what's like right there below it. And I even use it for that too. So yeah, there's different things you can do at those stages. Neem oils, things like that can help. Just be careful with using neem oil in like the heat of the summer. If it is too hot, you can suffocate your plants. So usually whenever it hits like 95, or 90, 95, I don't use it at all. I wait until it gets up warmer. I'm colder later in the day. And then once they hit the adult stage, that's when it's just simply either grab and toss in soapy water or squish. So yeah, definitely not pleasant to deal with.
I haven't been visited yet, but I know.
Lucky you.
Yeah, I know that when I do, I mean, I'll know what to do.
Yes, you will. And then, so tomato hornworms are something else, because people are growing a lot of tomatoes right now. So there's a lot of tomato hornworms out. Again, I'm going to knock on wood. I haven't seen one yet this year, but of course, in the past, we've had a lot. But you can see that there's an issue right away too, because a bunch of your foliage of the tomato plant will just disappear. And as huge as they are, they hide really well. So definitely be searching around for them. And we actually bought some black lights to help us. Yeah, because they're supposed to be fun to find, and I haven't found one yet though, so I can't wait though. But we bought some black lights, flashlights for the kids, and we're gonna go out there. We keep going out there and looking, but nothing yet. And then cucumber beetles. One of the biggest things that cucumber beetles do is like spread viruses and things like that. They don't do too much damage themselves, but that's the issue, is that they might be bringing in any sort of like viruses and things like that, and then that could kill your cucumber plants. So I use like those yellow sticky traps, things like that. But there's a lot of like random things that can work for them too. Let's see.
Yeah, Sherry's having a big tomato problem. Or hornworm problem.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
Try that. I mean, go on Amazon, look up for a UV light, and go in the dark and just shine it around your plants, and they'll literally glow. You just pick them off.
Yes. Yeah, that's exactly what I've heard and seen, but I have yet to find one, which is amazing. It's great. Yeah, usually I'm finding them right and left, and maybe they're just late this year. We'll see.
Maybe.
Yeah, but I'm definitely fighting the squash bugs, and already lost one squash to squash vine borer. So unfortunately, it happens. It happens to the best of us. It happens to everybody. It's yeah. That's why, like I said too, I like having a lot of different plants and starting them at different phases and times and all that.
Yep.
So let's see. Um, Donna, send me a message here at, let's see, support at seedtospoon.net if you're having any sort of issues with that coupon code not working. So last week it wasn't working. And then I contacted Park Seed and I got them, and then they fixed it. So it should be working now. So maybe if you haven't tried it recently, because I tried it myself and it worked for me. So hopefully, fingers crossed, you just haven't tried it recently and it'll work. So, okay. Okay. Fun stuff here.
Yep.
Weeding and watering.
Got to do it.
Yes, got to do it, or else your garden will be overtaken. So, and my garden is slowly getting overtaken right now. I'm trying my very hardest. But yeah. So my method to going through and weeding is I try to tackle it out like one small space at a time, instead of just looking at the entire garden as a whole and being like, oh my gosh, I have so much I have to do. I try doing just, I try doing just like one bed at a time.
Yeah.
And all that. So,
yep. And Carrie's got, like 11, 12 beds plus smart pot beds to worry about. So
yes.
I have a smaller garden, so I'm able to kind of tackle it, before it gets, to it, to gets to, to more unmanageable. So I just do it, at the beginning. I also like to do mulch. Mulch helps, kind of suppress that. But yeah, once you have a large garden, it's definitely to just break it up, do maybe one bed a week. That definitely helps break it down.
And I'm so glad that you mentioned mulch, because that helps with so many things, including weeding and watering, and also with the temperatures.
Yep. So and depending on the mulch you use, fertilizing as well, as it breaks down. So there's so many benefits to mulching. I don't know why somebody wouldn't want to mulch.
Oh gosh, yeah. I try to mulch everything that I can. I think pretty much the only thing I don't mulch is like lettuce, like loose leaf lettuce, just because I harvest that so often.
Yeah. And I think it'd be weird too. Like you don't want the mulch pieces to get
yeah. So that's pretty much the only thing that I don't. But other than that, like I'm pretty much mulching everything. Yeah. It helps regulate the temperature of the soil. It helps to retain the water after you water, and helps keep it moist, and then also keeps those weeds from coming up. Yeah. So there's a lot of benefits there. Yes. So there's, as long as there's no seeds, as long as that grass is not going to seeds, that's an amazing mulch as well too. Yeah.
I was going to say that I don't know what grass we have. Probably Bermuda or something. But so the smart pot raised beds, they're 18 inches high, and when I cut mow the lawn around it, I'll actually notice that some seeds will actually jump in, and then we'll get like grass will seed in there. So you have to pull that, and it acts like a weed. So yeah, as long as you're using the right type of grass and you're not, the grass doesn't have any like fertilizers or anything, you should be good.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I like using things like, we have so many like wood chips and things like that.
Yeah.
And then whenever it gets later in the season too, we have a lot of leaves that we like to mulch with. So there's a lot of different things that you can do too. So those are all good things.
Yeah.
And then I did see a question about fertilizing before. So Leslie was asking, what fertilizer do you use this time of year on tomatoes? I was like, oh, I have that slide coming up soon. Yes. So right here, this is the fertilizer that I use for tomatoes, which is the Espoma Tomato Tone fertilizer. It works amazing. I use it pretty much whenever I transplant out a tomato. I like to put some of that into the hole. And then I go out every few weeks and I just sprinkle a little bit more at the base of the plant, and just work it in just a little bit. Like I barely do that much. And it's worked really great for me. I really like this one because it's organic and it's one that I really like. So this is pretty much the one that I always do.
Yep. I fertilize with fish emulsion, like a fish tea, worm composting tea. I also always recommend to beginner gardeners worm castings. It's a worry-free fertilizer. Almost you can. It's almost impossible to add too much, and you can add it to your entire garden. So if you have a local source of worm castings, that's another good one. If you're a beginner and just starting out.
Hey, and having your own worms, that's fun too.
I haven't done that, but that's on my list of wants. I've seen it's as easy as 2, 3, 5 gallon buckets.
Yes.
And that's about it. So yes, definitely, side project. If you're, a gardener who's, got your whole setup, think about a worm bin.
We barely do much at all with ours.
I didn't know you guys had one.
Yeah, we do. We have it in the garage. It's just like, it's one of those little worm towers. And we barely do anything. Those are some happy worms in there.
Wow.
Every once in a while, I'll go in, throw some food scraps, water it, and
yeah. It's a great way to alternative to just throwing away your food scraps is put it into the worms. They're going to give you amazing fertilizer for your garden, especially when it's fresh like that. There's no beating that.
Oh yeah, they always call it, what do they call it? Gold. Black gold.
Black gold. Yes.
Yeah. Yes. Worm Factory 360. Yes, those are great. Okay, so a lot of these things that you're going to be growing too are going to be needing some support, especially like this time of year. So if you haven't already gotten some support out for your tomatoes or your cucumbers or anything like that, definitely be getting that. So these, if you are having trouble like I did whenever we first started out with your bush tomato supports, those are definitely ones that I always had trouble with because I always got the real cheap ones, from any big box store.
Yeah.
And they always broke. I would always be like, okay, it's just a one season thing. But I switched over to these ones. These are just these square ones over here that go around my tomato plant, and they are amazing. They don't blow over in the wind when we get storms.
Yeah.
And plus, after the season's done, they fold flat. So they're easy storage. So I don't have to worry about what to do with these huge round things that I have in my garden. So I can't say enough amazing things about these square supports. It's definitely been a life changer for us whenever we switched to those a couple years back. And I love them.
Yeah. My tip on that is I always like to, even when I started a seedling, is add the trellis then, because when I first started, I didn't add trellising, and I was like, I'll just do it later. And then I end up breaking the plants, and it ends up hurting a lot more. And I'm like, I should have done this at the beginning. So now I know, if I know the plant's going to need support, I do it at the very beginning, because I know in the future I'm probably just going to mess it up and break it all.
Yeah. And a lot of the times too, so if you see, I know this is kind of a zoomed in picture over here on the right, but this is one of my tomatoes that's up against a cattle panel arch trellis. It's these right here. Here, let me pop up.
I love that idea, by the way. Just growing it up like that.
Oh, it's amazing. I love it. So these are my cattle panel arch trellises right here, but I just plant all sorts of vining things up that. And there's so many, right now, that's not a current picture, although I wish it was. You would see a whole bunch of like beans, and I have everything growing up these arches right now. I have some cantaloupe growing up one. Yeah. I have some loofah growing up another. I have tomatoes growing up them. And what else do I have? A bunch of beans. I have a bunch of them. They're all filled because I have several of them. So I like to plant on either side. So I have them growing up both sides. And I like to take full use of my vertical space. Let's see.
Somebody asking what does worm casting makes worms. So worm castings are basically worm poop
Yep,
the
just like this,
emulsion.
right?
Yep, there you go. Yeah, so basically the worm poop of worm after they've broken down, food matter, and people add also like paper and stuff like that.
Hmm.
It's just filled with nutrients that is readily available for a plant. So it's great to mix it into your soil and it acts like a fertilizer.
Yes. Oh, it's amazing. So Josh was asking about cutworms. So cutworms are, I wish I had a good picture to pop up right now. I actually do have a pretty good picture on my phone, I think, but they are, I mean, they're like little caterpillar looking things that what they do whenever you have like a smaller, more tender age plant, they will circle the plant base and pretty much just like cut it. So if you notice like a transplant almost like missing, a lot of the times it can be due to cutworms. So, and now there's obviously like a lot of other things that can cause a plant to go missing, but this is one of our common issues that we find, especially with beans. I find cutworms just seem to love my bush beans for some reason. But there's a lot of things that you can do organically to help with cutworms as well. This one particular time I'm thinking of, we had a huge cutworm issue in one of our beds, and I had a whole bunch of beans transplanted in, not transplanted, but like growing up in there. They were all about this big. So I went through and I put like toothpicks to the side of them and then lost no more. But you can do that. There's like toilet paper rolls you can like put around them. I mean, there's a lot of random things that you can do to try to help protect your plants from cutworms. Okay. So where is the best place to get wood chips? So there's a lot of places that you can. Chipdrop.com, it's chip drop.
I think that is, yeah.
I'm not sure if it's get chip drop or like just chip drop.
Get chip drop.
Okay, I thought it was something maybe a little bit. Yes, so getchipdrop.com. You can sign up. Local arborists can deliver wood chips to you for free, or you can put in like a donation to get moved up on the list. So that's a really good resource too. A lot of the local compost facilities will have a lot of places that you can go and get wood chips, sometimes even for free. I know our local one here, you can get free wood chips too if they have them.
Check your local ag extension as well. They'll probably have a good source for wood chips. Yeah.
Say if you're local to us, like I know of a good place.
I know. Yeah.
I know of good places like around here. So if you are around here, let me know. But yeah, so those are good ones that are around like everywhere, pretty much.
Yeah, and chip drop will definitely give you more than you probably need.
We have like such funny videos from like, oh my gosh, years ago that we posted. Oh gosh, it was probably like 2018, something like it was a long time ago, but we got our first chip drop and we were living in the middle of the city at that point and in a neighborhood, and they came and dropped off wood chips while we weren't home. And there was this mountain of wood chips that we came home to on our driveway. We were like, oh, so
that's what a yard of chips looks like.
Yeah, so we spent the entire day or two, like literally just wheeling the wood chips out into the backyard. Yeah, that's funny. I love this. It was the larger than the size of my car. Yes,
yep.
I absolutely agree with that. That was exactly our our experience as well. Okay, so if you missed last week's workshop, we went way more in depth about this too, but I did want to just at least touch on this again. So again, July is some time that you are going to want to be keeping up with trimming your plants and harvesting and all of that. And I know last week we talked a little bit about pruning, especially like the difference between suckers and leaf branches and where to trim if you want more, where to trim if you want them bigger, all of that. So definitely check out that workshop from last week if you missed it. But long story short, those little suckers in the middle that arrow is pointing to is where you can just simply use your hand and go like this, take them off if you want your tomatoes to be larger. If you want them to be smaller, you would take that one off right below it. Not smaller, but if you want more, but they won't be quite as large. So there's different advantages to doing different ways. But I mean, really, it's just mainly like just keeping up with making it manageable for you, right? I mean, you don't want it to get overwhelming and take over too much of your garden, especially if you don't have that large of a garden to be dealing with.
Yep.
Another one I do want to mention is basil, because basil is something that it is a continual thing that you will be needing to go out and do. Is go at the very top, you'll pinch off those top like little flower like seed looking things up there. So you'll pinch like right below that first set of leaves from underneath there, and then you're good to go. It just encourages them to keep going because July's not the end of summer yet. We're not there yet, and you want them to keep growing, and it'll encourage them to grow out and be bushier and grow more. So,
yep.
Yeah, and hopefully you are all harvesting a whole bunch, and yeah.
I think, don't know if we mentioned this or not, but if you are in a place where you're dealing with the heat, you can also try shade cloths. Or also what I did in my garden. We have a tree that provides some shade during like half the day. So some stuff like my basils and my herbs, I purposely planted them there where they would receive some shade. So definitely try that if you're in an area where it gets a little too hot, or you're dealing with no shade at all. Try some different shade cloths, and that'll definitely help you. It's a lot easier to shade when you have a smaller area. I mean, if you're growing out, in an acre or two, a shade cloth would be a little bit hard. So I think you do some, overhead watering to help, bring temperature down. So things like that as well.
Yeah. And also too, I do use those arch trellises to my advantage sometimes, and use that as almost like a shade cloth too, because it's like my living shade wall is what I always call it, especially if I'm growing things like southern peas out there that just will love the heat and do perfect no matter what temperatures they get. It'll provide a lot of shade for the things underneath it.
And same with the domes almost that you create with the cattle panels. I mean, the fruit and stuff below is kind of getting shaded from the foliage. So Harry put summer doesn't end until November here. I mean, it's literally us sometimes. So I feel like here in Oklahoma, once this super heat comes down, I feel like we almost do get a second spring, because our winters sometimes don't end until December.
Yeah,
that
is
start. I'm
true.
sorry.
Yeah. I definitely feel you here, but you know what? It's a good thing. We get a lot more growing time, right?
Yeah.
So I feel you. Hopefully it's just not super warm there yet, and your plants are all still doing okay. Fingers crossed. Oh yeah, that's really smart. Yeah, making one of the domes and covering it with shade cloth.
Yep. And there's like different percentages of shade. So depending on the area, depending on the season, you might do different ones. And then you could, just like you said, those same domes you can actually use to keep out pests in like spring. So
yeah, for sure. Okay, here. Oh, nice. More basil than I love having that problem. That's amazing. Yeah, usually I just use it fresh, but I need to store some this year. Okay,
I was gonna say you better tell them that tip, because it's like something that was like engraved in my head. It's a great tip.
It is.
Yes.
Oh, what was I gonna say?
The ice cubes with the oil.
Yes, it is. Wow, you know me so well.
Yeah, I was like, this is a great tip.
Yes, I have. Yes, we have the perfect thing to tell you then. So I have these little silicone ice trays that I use. And I go through and I chop up the basil, or if you have like an astronomical amount, you can actually just put it in like a food processor to chop it down. And then that will go, you just put them into the ice tray. And then if you just pour some oil over top of it, put it into the freezer just like you would any ice cubes. And then In like a day or two, they will be frozen solid. And then you can just pop them out and put them into a freezer safe Ziploc baggie and store them. And whenever you go in, like you can literally just pop them into a pan and they will melt into the perfect little oil and fresh basil. So that is my absolute favorite way to preserve basil. It is the easiest thing to do too. It's very simple. It's something I recommend to everybody. Um, Other fun way, I mean, you can make like pestos and things like that too, and you can freeze pesto as well, which is great. So I have recipes for pesto in the Seed to Spoon app. So here, if I should be under.
Wait, go back.
Oh,
click the.
Yeah, thank you. I didn't share it. Okay, so over here, growing guides should be under basil. So recipes. Let's see. Oh man, I need to fix that. It is not under this. I know where it is though. It is under sage because I think I have it as sage pesto. Because sage pesto is my favorite pesto.
I don't know if I've ever had that.
Oh my gosh, it is so good. Yeah, right here. So yeah, so I have all sorts, of course, now that I shared, I think I'm away from the screen, but if you tap this, it'll take you to our website, which will pull up the recipe for you, and then you can see everything from there. But yes, so side note, you can see a whole bunch of great recipes in there and tips and all that. So yeah. Okay. I know. So I thought it was funny. Yeah. I didn't know what that was too. Edvin had to explain to me because I was like, "It's what? What is this?" So he was like, "Show me what it is." Yep, I like it. We have number one right here. Woo!
Good job, Harry.
Woo! That's funny. I love it. That's too funny. Okay. Yeah, you know what we should do is if that's something that we can keep track of, we should be like, hey, number one is the person that wins.
Wow.
We could do something like that next week. We should come up
we
with.
Should do like we could do 2 giveaways.
Yeah, we should do something next week for the number one top person.
But do we leave it up to Harry because we know Harry is the top commenter? I don't know. Is there somebody out there who can beat out Harry? That's the
question. Now it's a challenge. It's a challenge issued.
Are we going to be able to answer that many questions in this short amount of time?
Let's see. Oh, Jessica was asking. So can you still make pesto from that basil that flowers? So yeah, absolutely. So I don't use the flowered section. So I'll pinch off that flowered section and I have chickens. So I give it to my chickens and they love that. But you can use those leaves from underneath and it works really good. Yes. Nice. Yeah, you will not regret it. It's very simple and it tastes amazing. I love it. Okay. That's a good problem to have too. An endless supply of basil, dill, cilantro, marigolds.
I'm sure there's a lot of people out there who would love to have that problem.
I know. I'm jealous. I do feel that with cilantro because that happens to us every year with cilantro because it just like takes over. It takes over. Okay. Well, we are there. I need to
select the winner.
Do the winner here real quick. Okay. Drum roll here. Okay. You want to tell them what they're going to be winning while I do this?
Well, they're going to be winning a 1 year free of premium from Seed to Spoon garden app, which means you're able to access the entire app, which I think the one of the biggest features of that, besides free shipping, which means that you'll probably be ordering more seeds than you need.
I have that problem.
Yes, you have access to Growbot, which is the innovative AI gardening assistant. You can send any type of gardening pictures, questions. I mean, there's times when I'm even like in Lowe's and I want to know like what type of plant is. Take a picture, send it to him real quick. And he tells me, he tells me a whole, the whole origin story of the plant, basically down to its like ancestors and family tree. So super, super helpful. Any type of tip of what to plant. I mean, there's people who come up to me, ask me questions, and I act like I know what I'm saying by just quickly turning around and having Growbot tell me about it. So you're gonna win that.
Best friend.
Yeah, yeah. I know I actually haven't. I'm gonna have some more conversations with Growbot, see how friendly we can get him. But yeah, you're gonna win that, and you're also gonna win a Smart Pot raised bed planter. This is a 6 foot by 18-inch raised bed planter. So Carrie's grown, I mean, everything in this.
Yes,
so
quite literally.
Yes, so literally tried and true. This is great to grow any tomatoes, and loofah. I know you grow loofah in this.
Mm-hmm.
So these are easily last you 10 years. Like I said, we're hooking Dale and Carrie up. We're going to be switching out some of the ones they have had for 6-8 years now. So we're going to head and give them some fresh ones. But one of you is going to get to take one of these home and set it up. Like I said, it's just unfold, fill, and plant. No tools required. So good luck.
Okay, here we go. Congratulations to Lakita Redfern.
Nice.
Yay! Congratulations. So send us an email at info@seedtospoon.net and we'll get y'all hooked up.
Nice. Congratulations.
Yes, very exciting. Okay, I did see one more question here that CJ had really quick that we will answer. So CJ was saying, is there her zucchini plant has not given her zucchinis, only flowers. It's possible that you only have male flowers, because I do know a lot of the time the male flowers will come first.
Yeah.
Before the female flowers come, and so it's possible that that's your issue.
The last time I've heard somebody say this, they said try growing another zucchini next to that zucchini, and that will hopefully increase production and create a more male or female.
Interesting.
Also, look up on Google, look up a picture of what the difference between the male and the female plant or plant of a zucchini, or the difference between a male and female zucchini flower, what they look like, and then try to identify them on your plant. And if you do have those, then same thing like we were saying earlier with pollinating, go in there and self-pollinate them. And then after you self-pollinate it, kind of like wrap it up. Some people use like twine or like something, close the flower, and then that'll kind of help it set its fruit. So, but try to identify if you have male and female plants. If you only have one or the other, then best thing we do is try to find another zucchini plant and plant it close by, and that should help pollinate them.
Yeah, good luck. My fingers are crossed for you, because I would hate to have this issue.
Yeah.
I love zucchini, so I feel you. Okay, well, awesome. Well, thank you all so much for joining, and congratulations again to the winner who won the free year and the Smart Pot. It's exciting.
It's exciting.
Yeah. And make sure you join us again next week. Actually, next week, we already know what you're doing. So Edvin is going to cultivate.
Yes.
So you want to tell them a brief?
Cultivate is an green industry trade show. It's hosted in Columbus, Ohio. It's hosted every single year. It's a trade show that there's, hundreds of booth spots, and there's probably a 2-3 year wait list. It's one of those where if you don't sign up, you're not going to get in. So yeah, we're going to be there. Smart Pot booth 2324. We're there presenting, American made Smart Pots, been around since the 80s. But yeah, pretty much all of the foliage that you see at Lowe's, Walmart, Home Depot come from this type of show. People come from all over the world. Denmark, Holland, South America, they, to show these different foliages. And some of these plants will actually not even be available for 2-3 years down the line.
I know it was super interesting because you and Dale were at the last year's, and they saw so many fun and unique things. And actually, a lot of new seed varieties came to Park Seed because of it.
Yeah, honestly, that was probably the coolest experience. That Dale was there, and he was there with Park Seed, and they were kind of scouting out different plants, and a lot of the varieties did end up on the Park Seed website, and it's just so cool to see. And one of those is the bonsai basil, which if you guys haven't grown that, oh my god, that was the coolest thing. It looks like a lollipop almost, and on a stem, which it looks like a bonsai tree, but it's bonsai basil. You can eat it, and there's so many things. So I'm definitely, next week we're going to be live with Carrie, and
He's going to show us a bunch of cool
yeah,
things
I'm
around
going to show
there.
you guys some exclusive things, some things that you, like I said, you won't see. It's such a cool show, and I almost feel spoiled, because like I come back and like we go to like our local Lowe's, and I'm just like I look at the plants there, and I'm like, dang, like like none of these seem interesting because like I've seen like all these very. I mean, I'm a big houseplant guy, so if you like variegated stuff, if you like stuff that has like unique variations that like things that look like out of this world, literally like they have some like plants that like have spikes on them, and it's interesting. So yeah, you definitely don't want to miss it. And there's also aside from just things that look good, there's a lot of companies that actually manufacture plants to help us in the landscape in the garden. So there's this company that I know that they do a lot of foliage that is meant to repel deer. So they have
yeah, I saw those last year. Yeah, those
so
are
they
really
have
cool.
like a Deerlerius is what it's called line, and yeah, you're supposed to add them to like into your landscaping, and they're meant to repel deer. They also have some for repelling mosquitoes and rabbits, so stuff
Love
like
that.
that. I mean, it's like it's pretty crazy the amount of technology that goes into a plant. So yeah, you definitely don't want to miss it.
Yeah.
Don't miss that.
I saw this comment pop up real quick, and we'll answer this real quick before we go. So, smart pots, you can get them. Again, I almost forgot to share again on the Seed to Spoon app here. And again, if you're a yearly premium subscriber, you get free shipping on all your orders. But you can come up here to shop, and you can type smart pots. There we go. We got some smart pots here. This is that's the 8-foot one. Let's see. Yeah, a bunch of different ones right here. Yeah.
Yep. So just depending on your needs. If you've never tried smart pots, I mean, a 10-gallon or a 15-gallon is a great size to do just about anything.
Yes.
You can do even indeterminate tomato in a 10-gallon. Ideally, you'd want a 15-gallon, but totally doable in a 10. 7 gallons are great for any herbs. The 1 gallons are amazing for all the Tiny Tim stuff you guys have, the kitchen minis.
Yeah.
And that bonsai basil does amazing in a 1 gallon.
Yeah, I have several of them back here actually growing a lot of things.
Yeah.
And I do want to point out too, you get 15% off with this code right here. If you can see it, spoon 15. Here, let me pop it up. There we go. Because I think okay, there we go. So save 15% off with spoon 15. So enter that code in and you get an additional percent off too. So that's exciting.
Yeah, take advantage of that for sure.
Yeah. Okay. Well, awesome. Well, thank you all so much for joining today. And like I said, we will be back again next week, same time.
I will be in a different place, but we'll both be on screen.
Yep. We'll both be here. Thank you all so much.